I'm on a saloy in the town of Tanchau, a town of about 10,000 people here in Vietnam, roughly 20 kilometers from the Cambodian border. We're taking a ride and we're going to actually show you a few things here in this town. One of them is how silk is made, another is a fish farm. Before we get to some of those other fun things, how about a side trip to see how mats are made here? This is an actual reed that they use to make the mats. And what they do is they take the reeds, they slice them to a specific length, and in this case they put them in here to dye them. You'll see some of the scraps from the end of the reeds get recycled, and they actually create the fuel for the heat to dye the actual reed itself. When you step past these little ones right here, it's all right, guys. You'll see that the reeds have already been dyed, and now they're laying out here and drying and getting ready for the next step. In here, you'll see where they're still doing things by hand and putting the mats together by hand. You have a lady feeding the reeds in, and this lady working the loom and actually putting it together by hand. It's a fairly intensive process to build a large mat. Of course, they've automated that process over the years, but the art is still intact. And here you can see a much faster process on these automated looms. Literally, there's dozens of them running back here in this particular mat making shop. As you walk with me over here, you're going to see as they start to get to the finished product, right here, these pieces don't have the ends yet. This one obviously does. This is an actual finished mat. That in-between step is right in here. As you follow me in, you're going to see back here where they actually put the border on to create the actual finished product. And I'll pull one up for you and give you an example. There you have it. Ever want to know where that silk you're wearing comes from? Step inside this factory. In this factory, they purchase this thin silk thread, and they actually run it through these machines. They do that in order to create a thicker, actual thicker piece of silk. The kids behind me then take these thicker strands of silk, and as you watch, they roll it up and get it ready, in this case, to ship it to Cambodia, where they actually turn it into garments and other finished products. Ever wonder where the fish that ends up on your dinner table comes from? It could be coming from a floating fish farm like the one we're in here in Vietnam. This is a very smelly mixture of what will ultimately become fish food for this floating fish farm. They'll actually take this, throw it into this vat, mix it around, and just so you know where this comes from, what makes this up, this is literally like the heads and some of the bones of the leftover fish after they've been harvested that creates this. It goes in here, it comes out, it looks like spaghetti, and that ultimately becomes the fish food. A family actually owns this fish farm, and this is their house. So they literally live above the farm, and right here below me are the actual fish. And you can see them if you simply just throw some food in. They go crazy because they know it's feeding time. Here they come.